A few months ago I did a little comparison video where I compared the best lightweight and general purpose camera bags, but there's one category where none of them would perform great, and that's hiking, especially multi-day hikes. And that's what we're doing today. I want to figure out if the new PgyTech OnePro Flex does a good job on longer hikes. We're in Lombok here, Indonesia. We will hike Rinjani over the next 4 days. So we will see if this bag can actually fulfill all my travel needs, including multi-day hikes. It's a tough one. We will make about 2,600 meters in altitude over the next 24 hours. Let's get into it. So there we are already about 2 weeks later. I decided to record the whole review after the hike or the whole trip, because at first it was way too hard recording all the time or filming myself all the time in between. So I'm doing that now. And also I think it's overall better because now I got all the experience with that bag, and let me tell you, that's a lot of experience, because it was 4 days of hiking under those conditions. It was super hard. It's probably the best way of testing such a bag. I also have to leave a little disclaimer here. This video is sponsored, but I'm not holding anything back about this bag. If I wouldn't like it, if I couldn't recommend this bag, I would just cancel the sponsorship and not do this review. But the fact that I'm here tells you that this bag is actually good. But now let's talk about general travel friendliness with this bag. At first, this bag is carry-on size, at least the 30-liter version. I think the 40-liter version as well. I'm not sure about the 50-liter version. So this is the 30-liter that I have here. This is obviously super important because it happens quite often that I only want to travel with one bag, don't want to check anything in. And with this bag, you can do that. Now, when it comes to carry-on, there's also another limit which photographers and videographers often reach, which is the weight. Here in Asia, it's usually around 7 kilograms, and I reach that all the time. And this is where this bag shines at first, in my opinion, when it comes to travel friendliness, because it comes with camera inserts, and with every camera insert, they ship a strap with it for the insert itself. So if you're at the check-in counter and they want to weight your bag, then you can simply take the camera insert out, attach the strap to it, and only take the insert with all your valuables, your camera stuff, etc., while all your clothes and all the invaluables stay in the bag and you can just check it in. This is a huge problem actually for me often here in Asia. That's solved with this feature. Aside from that, when we're talking about the actual weight of this bag, it's a bit of an irony, because I did this camera comparison a few months ago, and one critical point there for me was weight of the bag. And here this bag is 1.82 kilograms without the camera insert bag, so we're definitely above 2 kilo there. So in my original bag comparison video, this bag would not even have made it in there. But because they solved it so nicely with the camera insert bag, and airports was my main concern. I mean, if I have like 300, 400 gram more in my bag while I'm hiking, it's okay for me, but the airports are really the issue. That's not really an issue with this bag here. And like even 1.82 kilo, if you sometimes use it not for videography or so, if you don't have the insert bag in there, is still a pretty good weight for such a bag, especially with all the compartments here. And talking about compartments in relation to travel friendliness, one important thing here for me is that the laptop and iPad or tablet compartment is on the bag, so on the inside. And I find that important because that doesn't pull the weight down. Like if I would put my MacBook, for example, here on the outside of the bag, it would pull more down as if I would have it here on the back. And if you're talking specifically about hiking, there's another really cool thing about this bag, which they actually patented, and that is the 3D arch frame together with the height adjustment on the back of the bag. So you can kind of tailor the bag to your body size. And what makes this arch frame so special, aside from the height adjustment, is that it adds a lot of comfort during longer hikes, because it takes most of the weight out of the shoulders, at least if you really tighten the hip strap. Because then, if you have that really tight, then essentially your hip carries most of the weight, so the bag gets a little bit pushed up, and that lifts a lot of the weight off your shoulders, and that came in super handy during that hike. I think otherwise I would have back pain like crazy. And by the way, the bag was actually quite heavy. I carried about 10 kilos, probably a bit more, in this bag when I had it fully loaded. Of course, when we did the summit, for example, I left all of my clothes and stuff in the camp, so there I probably had like 6 kilos, maybe around, something like that, maybe even 7. It was still a lot, especially then it was really comfortable going up. So let's come to all the compartments and attachment points. I would say let's start with tripods and water bottles directly. Actually, it features about 4 places where you can attach tripods, maybe even more if you have a really light tripod. First, you have 2 here on the sides, left and right. You have 1 in the front here, like you can pull out this little tripod holder here, and with that you can simply attach a tripod here, and you can also put it under the tripod. What's really nice also, especially for hiking, is that you have those attachments here on the side where you can attach hiking sticks. In my case, that's actually really good because I have a tripod that combines hiking sticks and a tripod. I have an overview with all the gear that I brought on the hike coming up as well pretty soon on the channel. Maybe it's already up on my channel when this video gets released, and there I show you that tripod and other stuff, so check that out if you want to know more. And of course, in the left and right compartments here where you can put a tripod, you can also put a water bottle in there. If you have a small water bottle, you can also attach that to the front here so that you can drink quickly, which I found pretty convenient. And instead of that, you can also attach an FPV drone here to the front with this little straps here. You would just push it inside, and there you have your FPV drone attached. If you're an FPV pilot, that's also a nice feature, I think. So much about the FPV drone. And tripods is a lot more though. At first, I think it's on the left side here. When you open that, you have some more small compartments where you can, for example, store your power bank. That's what I do here. Also an action camera here. The Action 5 Pro is what I have here. And then in the front compartment, you also have a few more dividers. Like you have this strap here, for example, in case you want to have an iPad in there. Then it also has a little strap here for your keys, so you can lock them in that they don't get stolen or you lose them quickly. And there are 2 bigger compartments here. And if you open the right side, is 2 features actually that I really like. At first, you can directly access your camera. As you see here from the camera insert, you can put the opening behind the opening of the bag, so it all opens at the same time. Then you can easily put your camera in and out. Even with a 70-200 G Master Mark II, which is not precisely a small lens, that works. And the other great feature that I really like is that it has this battery indication system, which PgyTech also has in its other bags. And how that works is that you have those indicators where you can switch them between green and red. So if it's green, you know that your battery is full, and red it isn't anymore. So if you come back to camp or so, you directly know which batteries you have to charge and which not. I think it's the small things that make great products. Things like that. And you also have that top compartment here, which is at first nice to, for example, store your drone if the camera insert bag is already full. And nice is that there's a zipper inside as well, which I'm opening here. And that makes it possible to also access the stuff or the part of the bag above the camera insert directly. So you can access that both from the back of the bag when you open the whole bag, and you can access that from the top, which is perfect for transporting drones, for example. If you have the bag lying around somewhere, you can access your drone, but you can also access it quickly from the top by doing it like that. And aside from that, it also comes with that opening here as well. Like you can put maybe some electronics in there or so. I have my sunscreen in here, which I might need soon if the sun keeps shining harder. So tape, always bring tape. And you can also completely extend that by just opening those clippers here, and then you see the bag gets larger, about 10 liters. And that's great. Like this is where I stored all my clothes before. Like this is how the bag looked during the hike. And that's also a feature that makes this bag great for hiking, especially multi-day hikes, because just as with your traditional camera bag, you would have the camera insert bag here at the bottom, and then at the top you have enough space to store all your other stuff, or your clothes, etc. This is also a really important feature actually of this bag. Otherwise, I could not have used this bag exclusively for the 4-day hike on Mount Rinjani. And of course, you can also open it completely from the back. Must say here, I don't like that it opens like that here from the side, instead of that it's attached to the bottom like it is with most bags. It's not a deal breaker at all, but especially if I would, let's say, also want to use the bag for an everyday bag while I'm in the city or so, then I definitely prefer this opening, because that makes it a bit easier to access everything from the top, while here with that you would always have to open the whole bag. Aside from that, the inside is pretty familiar. It's pretty much the same as many other camera bags. You have your camera insert here, and then your top compartment for your other stuff, which I mentioned again already, you can also access from the top. One thing that I would like to have improved here though is this one here, like the way how the camera insert bag opening attaches to the back compartment of the bag. Like you see, there is this little flimsy Velcro strap which holds it in place, but it doesn't feel sturdy. I wish that they would have maybe 2 of those, that it holds a bit better, and that, as they did here, that they would also have an extra Velcro strap attached to the top compartment of that camera insert. And also worth mentioning when it comes to attachments is that you also have that pocket here in the front, which I also used for my action camera all the time during the hike, so I could quickly take it up and get some shots. But you can put all sorts of stuff in there, your wallet or whatever you want to use with it. It's really up to you. Here you can also attach your capture clip, or at the top here you can also attach that as well. Plus it has like more attachment points here, like whenever you want to attach something else. I don't even know what it could be. There are so many ways here to do that, that I think you won't have any problems with this bag carrying all of your gear. So overall, when it comes to storing all your stuff in this bag, I think PgyTech did a perfect job here. I couldn't really ask for more. Next up is build quality, durability and weather resistance. And first, when it comes to build quality, as you can see here, it held up pretty well. Like I'm a rough person. I always throw my bags into the dirt, and there were stones everywhere where I had the bag on. I was sometimes like sliding it a bit over the ground, and as you can see, of course, there's a little bit of dirt, but I could clean that up and there are no like any major damages or so. One thing I did notice though is that here at the top of the bag, it ripped a little bit off, but it's not to a degree at all that it would do anything to the functionality of this bag. It's perfectly fine. You just see it, it's just there. It didn't happen to Michael, so maybe I just did something that it happened. So it's not that it happens with all of the bags. And when it comes to weather resistance, it's not perfect. Like at first we had a little bit of light rain, and I did notice here in the front, in the top compartment, that there was a bit of water inside towards the edges of the zipper. So the material itself is pretty waterproof, but the zippers are not perfectly. But that's pretty much what you get with many other bags as well. Now the good thing of this bag though is that the rain cover is included when you purchase this bag. You don't have to pay anything extra for it, like some other manufacturers do. And if you get heavy rain, which we also had towards the end of the hike, then this actually helped a lot, because what happened there to us was that Michael accidentally gave his rain cover to the porters together with his clothes. And I had my rain cover in the bag, so I ended up having a rain cover on my back and Michael did not. It was really, really heavy rain, and Michael's bag was completely wet after that, while my bag was completely dry, so the rain cover definitely works. What's important to mention here though is that his gear stayed completely dry in the camera insert bag, so the water did not get inside that bag. It's really important, I think. It's obviously, I mean, if the bag gets wet, okay, it dries again. but you don't want your gear to get damaged. And I must say that's actually a great thing about this bag as well, that everything that you need comes with it directly without having to pay anything extra, like your rain cover and all the straps, because other companies let you pay extra for that. And here the only thing you really have to purchase extra is the camera insert, but I think that makes sense because there are different sizes available, and obviously you don't want to pay the same amount of money for a small size camera insert as other people would pay if there is a big one included. So even there it makes total sense in my opinion. So overall, when it comes to durability of this bag, great, but be a bit careful when it comes to rain. Don't forget your rain cover. And as mentioned before, there are also a few downsides of this bag, so let's talk about them. First one is that it's definitely a hiking camera bag. This is not really an everyday bag, mainly because of that opening. For like everyday bags, when I'm in a cafe, for example, working a little bit and I want to bring maybe one camera and 1 or 2 lenses, then I do prefer the Peter McKinnon Luma bag, for example, right now, or also Peak Design everyday bags. They're just better designed for that. However, when it comes to hiking and also general international travel, this is an awesome bag. I love it for that. Another little downside is regarding the camera clip attachment points. I mean, it's overall great that you have them included that nicely here in both the left shoulder strap and also the hip strap, but you don't have it on the right shoulder strap, which can sometimes get in your way because some of those clips have the button that you need to press to unlock your camera, so that it's a bit easier or faster to do that on the right shoulder strap. So in that case, you can't really do that. Or it's also sometimes, let's say you carry it all the time on your left and sometimes you want to switch to your right to at least balance it between your shoulders. And now this is the thing here, when you use the Peak Design ones that I use, you can really only attach it to the belt, the hip strap or the left shoulder strap. But if you have the native PgyTech one, then you can also attach it to the right one, because that one is a bit bigger, like Michael had it and he did it there. Then it's big enough to just wrap it around completely the right shoulder strap and therefore have your camera attached there. Of course, you lose the functionality of having your bottle pocket here, but well, you have to go for one or the other in that case. So it's a little downside, definitely not a deal breaker, but it might be worth mentioning here in case you use the Peak Design one, because there are only 2 points where that will fit. Next downside here is what I mentioned before, that it opens to the side. I don't really like that. I think it's better if it would open like that, but maybe that's also strategically placed because it's a hiking bag, because maybe that holds up a little bit better. And another small downside, or something that you should be careful about with this bag, is when it comes to the bottom straps here. I had my flip-flops attached to the bottom of this bag at first, and I lost one flip-flop during the hike because one of those straps here got lost and then the flip-flop fell out. Now that did happen because the flip-flops were not really heavy, obviously. If you attach a tripod here, then the tripod would pull that down and the strap would not get loose anymore. Aside from that, I forgot to tell you that like you can carry it like that around when you carry it normally, and you can also carry it from the side. It's 2 other great functions. So in my opinion, it's a perfect travel camera bag, but of course, like for everyday stuff, I still use other bags. And also if I would only go somewhere maybe within an hour or so from my house and I don't intend to do any hikes, then I'll also use other bags still. So it's not the only bag that I will use, but yeah, for international travel and longer hikes, that's absolutely the bag that I will use from now on all the time. And if you want to know more about the other bags that I use, then check out this video here. In the corner is the bag comparison, and also if you're curious about the Rinjani hike, how it went, check out this video here in the corner. There you will learn more. Okay, and of course consider subscribing, and I see you in upcoming videos. I'm out, bye.